welcome to the world headquarters of Euclid Ebenezer Training, broadcasted from somewhere partially underground on this continent. And tonight I entitled this teaching, How to Hire a Vendor. John chapter 2, if you'd like to follow along. John chapter 2, reading in verse 14 through 16. And Jesus was found in the temple, those that sold oxen and sheep and doves, and the changers of money sitting. And when he had made a scourge of small cords, he drove them all out of the temple, and the sheep and the oxen, and poured the changers' money, and overthrew the tables. When you watch things on TV, they may say, don't try this at home. And so this is something I would say, don't try this at home. Jesus, the hypostatic union, fully God, fully man, Philippians 2, 16 through 11. Jesus was fulfilling the prophecy of Malachi 3:1. Jesus who made all things, John 1, 1 through 3, part of the Holy Trinity. We can't do that because we are not part of the Holy Trinity. We don't have that status, that position. Matthew 3, 16 through 17. And in God's providence, no one stopped him, for his time was not yet. And these vendors were doing business in a wrong way at a wrong place. Vendor is spelled a couple different ways, V-E-N-D-O-R or E-R. I like O-R. A seller, a peddler, and a small debate about is this one and other verses, and they're in all the Gospels, a story, but I am on the side of the view that these are two different cleansings, one at the beginning of Jesus' ministry and one towards the end. This one in John 2 happened first. The ones in Matthew 21:12, and which is the same event, Mark 11:15. These three Gospels have the same event. Luke 19:45. Commentary on this in John 2. Passover came, and people from all over the nation and the Roman Empire, opportunistic merchants, money changers, needed, and when people needed to pay a tax, and it had to be in a certain currency, and they just stuck it through the roof to the people. They jacked up the fees. Cattle and doves necessary for prescribed sacrifices, but to make a great court a stockyard was the height of abuse, one commentary says. This was not at Jesus being upset at people making an honest living. Two heroes of the faith of the early church, in part of the early church, Joseph of Arimathea and Nicodemus, were wealthy business people and disciples of Jesus, John 19:38 and 39. The centurion wasn't a disciple of Jesus, but Jesus treated him well in Matthew 8:5. These three people were wealthy, and they earned their money in a correct way. And Jesus was not a Marxist. Everyone needs to read the book, Understanding the Times, David A. Noble of Summit Ministries. There's a short version in paperback made years later, because it's like reading a phone book. And it compares these different views and ideas. Jesus was against filthy lucre in 1 Timothy 3:3 and 8. illicit, dishonorable, unlawful gain or advantage, making small gains in mean ways, greedy of ill gain. Not greedy, a paraphrase of this, in 1 Timothy 3, not greedy of for base gain, craving wealth and resorting to ignorable, without a base, without honor, and dishonest methods of getting it. Let's turn to Ephesians 4:27 and 28. Let neither give place to the devil. Let him that steals steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands the thing which is good, that he may have to give to him that needeth. When you steal, you break one of the 10 commandments of the Torah, one of the great 10 commandments that society is built on. The great Moses wrote, number 8 in Exodus 20:15, about not stealing. I say, when you live a lifestyle of stealing, you open up portals, areas for demons to have place. Ephesians 6:12. Stealing comes in different ways. 1,000,000 years ago, I had a business, 70s, lawn business, and there was one lady, and I finally had to say I can't do work for her anymore because I had fees, and I would charge a fee, and she would ask me to do something extra, and I kind of did it a little bit, and I was beginning to realize this person literally wanted me there for hours, doing just endlessly, just giving me orders, and I said, no, that's enough, no thank you. I have a charge I need to do for my business. Yeah, maybe sometime I could do charity work, but I don't think this lady was hurting. I just thought she was used to trying to take advantage of people. And vendors do get taken advantage of sometimes. I had another customer, a lady, really fussy, beautiful roses, but just whatever it takes, we agree upon a fee to get the weeds out of her bed. It was always extra. There was other people. I got 4, 5, 6. I don't even remember how many people in the area. It was a great place to go. It was a beautiful area. And it was just all good. And if there was this to work, she'd say, okay, I'll give you so-and-so for something that's not on our arrangement. Fine. Great human being. Christian. It was just really a good thing. And that lady did not try to steal something from me. So, another experience that was on the positive side is I had a vendor in, and they looked around. They said, well, I can't really do that. I can recommend somebody that can do that kind of thing. And they just kind of walked around talking about a few different things. I offered to pay him some money. He said, no, I didn't really do anything. And just go online and give me a good recommendation. Really neat. And if I have anything, ever have a need in that area, I'm going to throw the work this individual's way. The best idea is for both sides to come away feeling good. That the person who's the vendor is earning a living, and then the other person is having something done that maybe they don't want to do or they can't do themselves, and they both walk away, and this is good. I have a theory on just randomly taking vendors, just a total guess, and the theory is 20-20-60. Make believe in my little story that you have 1,000 vendors. 20%, 200, are demons. They will steal from you. If they're a mechanic and you get under your hood, they'll get a scissors and cut your plug wire and tell you need new plug wires. And these people are from hell. And they think from hell. They think stealing. The other 20% are angels. They'll take and they'll hold your hand, they'll walk you down, they'll show you what's going on, they'll kind of explain what's connected, maybe later on you need to do this, and they give you an education, and you just feel good helping these people. And they're helping you. And then 600 are these two bookends, 20 devils, 20% angels, and they're in between the 60%, the 600 and the 1,000 that are, I call, incompetent. They're just a little bit incompetent, or they're a lot bit incompetent. And you don't know till you they do work for me. You find out real fast. If you have to go cold turkey and just roll the dice and pick somebody, pull somebody's name out of a hat, you know, when they pick Matthias and Acts, I mean, however you do it, go online. This is what you're dealing with, 20-20-60. My thought, the way to look at it. There was somebody I know, and they got someone over to do some maintenance on one of their items, and I'm guessing it was probably cheap. And when this person was over there, they were saying, "Hey, can we look at something else?" So the next day, the salesman came out, and you saw what they were trying to do. There's another item there that was working fine, but just old. They threw the roof. I mean, it was just bizarre how exaggerated price it was. And what they were doing was bait and switch. So they baited this individual with real cheap, working on something. And then what they really wanted to do was at the back end try to shove this down their throat, this real expensive item. This is what the Bible calls, what I would call the Bible verse, is a lying spirit. A spirit gets a hold of somebody's mind and they manipulate, they lie, and they just try to cheat you. And there are people out there. Now, in defense of vendors, not everybody is that way. And probably the number is, maybe it could be higher than 20%, the bad guys, but you've got to realize there's people out there that aren't very good or very nice. There was a mechanic friend of mine, an older guy. He passed away in '78, so it's been a long time. He was working on a gentleman's car and just told him, you know what, you may not make it out of here. This is really bad, and you really need to fix it. So it was an older guy and yelled at him and screamed at him, just put it back together. You're just trying to rip me off. And he says, no, sir, I'm really not. If you don't want to take it to me, take it to somebody now, today. You need brakes really, really bad. So if that's what you want to do, but get a second opinion. But don't do it, don't wait. Do it today. Get that second opinion. I don't know what he all said, but he was trying to plead with him, at least fix it because you're going to have trouble. Well, he had trouble because he had an accident and because he had no brakes. It takes brakes to stop. So sometimes people can falsely accuse vendors of things. I had called for an insurance company, and I needed something, and they recommended me to a vendor that I had left and stopped going to because of just incompetence. And I was told them, please don't recommend this person, because I didn't go into detail. I just said I have a lot of problems with this vendor. I'm guessing they paid for the advertising, so when you would call up, I'm not sure how that whole thing went, but you got to be really, really careful. Story, near where I live, there was a real estate lady getting the house ready to sell, and there was a company there, a vendor doing work, and I want to know what she thinks about that company. So I just said, hey, and what do you think about this? And she says, I love these people. I have been working with this company 20 years as a real estate agent. I won't call anybody else. Or I don't call anybody else, one or the other. But she just had nothing but saying. I looked online. This is one of the reasons why the online stuff is a little not accurate sometimes. Because there was one complaint there, and I could kind of see on the company's part that this was, the description there was like, what, this is kind of a two-way street with what they were asking for and things, and I really wasn't bothered by that review, but that personal testimony of this live human being who I'd seen in the neighborhood meant a lot more to me than that review. Proverbs 18:13. He that answers a matter before he heareth it, it is folly and a shame to him. And just a concluding statement on that. There are two sides to a story. Vendors that treat people bad, and some vendors treat people good. And customers who treat vendors bad, and some customers who treat vendors good. There was a recommendation to somebody. I had a problem with some people, different vendors, and they said, you got to watch them like a hawk. Every single person that you come in, that you bring to, do whatever vendor work they're doing, you got to watch them like a hawk. And I'm just listening to the comment, and the painting, you got to go outside. You got to know, why did you miss that? Why did you not do that? Why did you do this? And you got to be on them. I don't see how that is possible, because even if I know in some of the things I've tried to get help for, I don't know what needs to be done. I honestly don't know. And so, and they know I don't know. And, they're smart enough to know that this person doesn't have a clue. I was looking for an auto mechanic for my old cars, and an individual at work I became friends with recommended this person, and I've been going there about 5 years now, and I just love that business. And he just works by himself, this guy. And last time I was there, I was changing my snow tires to regular tires, and just watching all the little things he's doing. And I go in twice a year to swap my tires, and he'll just look at things and just check things I don't even think about. He'll place some bulbs there, and he's just walking around. He'll say, well, you kind of need this at some point, and with an honest evaluation, okay? And you know, I wrote out a check for a bonus after I paid the bill. I said, this is a blessing to you, brother, because you do so much that I couldn't even think about doing, and just felt in my heart God wanted me to bless you with a bonus. Online, there's different articles about if you're dissatisfied with the work. I would say probably legally you still have to pay. There was a guy in another city, another state. You know, the mechanic did a bad job, so he stopped the payment of the check, and that guy came with a tow truck to tow it away, and there was a little thing ensued. And so I think your only recourse, even if it's for like a house, if it's a car mechanic, probably you just need to go ahead and pay, but then you know, take legal action, get an attorney. You need to write it down. If you don't know the person in a personal way, you might need to write it down, take a pen and paper, and just follow around. Okay, this is what I expect. Okay, you say you want such and such a price. Well, this is what I expect. And if I don't know the person, that's a real thing. And I kind of haven't been good at that. And I've kind of been taken out to lunch, either from people who were on the devil's side, people who were kind of incompetent the whole experience. I expect in Proverbs 16:9, a man's mind plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps and makes them sure. Proverbs 16:9. So you have to pray and seek God. Practice hospitality to vendors. Offer water and drinks. Let them use your bathroom. Don't make them go drive down the street. Romans 12:13. The customer and the vendor should each think and feel and get what they wanted and needed. And they should have chemistry with each other. And so, Lord, I just pray for everybody who watches this, Lord. I know I'm hoping vendors watch and hoping other people. And it's a really serious thing. I pray that you would help vendors to understand, because of the dishonesty, the theft of some people, of stealing from people, to lie to them about things, to spirit of deception, a lying spirit. I just pray that you would deal with vendors to not do those things to people. I pray for customers to treat vendors